Welcome everyone to the 49th BizHack Live. Next week is going to be our 50th BizHack Live, which we started during COVID as a response to the pivoting that everybody's had to do in their digital marketing. My name is Dan Gretsch, the host of BizHack Live and the CEO and founder of BizHack Academy, Digital Marketing Training Academy for small businesses. And it's really a special treat for today. 3 reasons why LinkedIn matters with the amazing Debbie Wemyss. Debbie is someone who has spent much of her career building a business around coaching executives on how to use LinkedIn. And I gotta say, LinkedIn has become, it's been an indispensable tool for B2B sales, and it's become even more indispensable since COVID, when a lot of the traditional business-to-business marketing channels, such as trade shows, chamber meetings, one-on-ones, and face-to-face meetings, have become impossible. And so LinkedIn is becoming more and more of a marketplace for business. And at least from my observation, the last year has been transformational for LinkedIn. Its ownership by Microsoft has helped a lot as well, which is now a few years old. And the technology that is underlying LinkedIn has become better and easier to use, certainly from an advertising perspective. Really excited to welcome Debbie today. BizHack Live wants to thank our sponsors, our partners, the American Marketing Association South Florida Chapter, Creation Station in Broward County, CIC, a co-working space in Miami, the South Florida Integrated Marketing Association, who helped us promote today's event. Thank you so much, as well as Miami Marketers. I wanted to encourage all of you guys to use the chat, to use the Q&A at the bottom for any questions that you might have. We welcome questions and would love to hear them. Debbie has a presentation she's given many times, so we'll probably end up holding most of the questions till the end. I might jump in if there's something very specific in the moment you're at, but I know you're a total pro at this, so we'll probably leave most of the questions for a kind of rapid fire Q&A at the end. So as the questions come to you, put them in the Q&A. I promise you I'm looking at them and monitoring them, and Debbie and I will go over them together at the end. Now, it's really exciting to have Debbie here today. She has a 30-year career in PR, marketing, and fundraising for corporations and nonprofits, and is the founder of DW Consulting Solutions, which now, I believe you just hit your 10th anniversary. And I remember seeing some celebrations online. You've grown, you've added staff. I'm very proud of the advances you've made in your business and excited for you, Debbie. She's coached 800 individuals and hundreds more through workshops and global speaking. She's a fabulous speaker. I've seen her speak. She's done these, she's clients in 24 countries, and she's very, very active in the small business ecosystem at the Chamber of Commerce for the Palm Beaches, Palm Beach North Chamber of Commerce, the Alliance of Women Executives, and Women's Master Networking. Like me, we live in South Florida for a reason. She's an avid fan of saltwater, sand, and golf. I don't play golf, that's the truth. So without further ado, the irrepressible Debbie Wemyss, it is such an honor to have you here today. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that introduction. Very kind. Lilia, thank you for your help previously too. I really appreciate it. So I'm looking forward to this. Let me get into my screen share. And you should be looking at my opening slide. Give me a nod if that's a confirm. Okay, thank you. So this is a little bit customized for your this presentation for BizHack Live, because you wanted 3 reasons. I can give you unlimited. But what I did was I went through a lot of material, and what I'd like to do is zero in on 3 and then give you some more and then flip right over to LinkedIn. So here are some of the reasons that people should pay more attention to LinkedIn. And I love these opportunities to give people just a quick overview of what you could be doing with this powerful branding and marketing tool. So we turned 10 in June. We're not quite there yet, another couple of weeks. But LinkedIn turned 18 on May 5th. So they've been around for 18 years. People don't know that LinkedIn and Facebook actually started the same month. So both sites are now 18 years old. The creators of each site knew one another. I love to tell this story because it's actually in Reid Hoffman's book. Reid Hoffman is one of the co-founders for LinkedIn. Mark Zuckerberg asked Reid to invest in Facebook. And the two are still to this day very friendly, but at the time they had very different strategies in mind for where they wanted to take their new platforms. So now over the course of time, LinkedIn has over 766 million members in over 200 countries. Second reason you might want to, because it's growing all the time too. I'll get into that in more detail in a minute. The second reason you might want to be a little more in tune with what you can do on LinkedIn. It is the largest professional online network with over 35 million LinkedIn pages. Those were formerly called company pages. They make these little changes every now and then. So instead of company page, now they have LinkedIn page and LinkedIn profiles. So you want to get your profile started first, but if you're a business owner, you really need to create a LinkedIn page to accommodate your LinkedIn profile. And it does act like a mini website, and it's free. And by the way, everything that we coach on is based on the basic membership, the free membership, or premium. And I'll tell you why in a few minutes. But another reason to pay attention to this site. Over 6 billion searches were done on LinkedIn last year. It is a gigantic database of products, services. HR loves this site for talent. So if you know anyone that's in transition, that's another reason to get onto LinkedIn. So additionally, #1 resource for the HR industry. And I think this is fascinating. After 18 years of growth, LinkedIn is still adding more than 2 new members per second around the world. That's a phenomenal opportunity for anyone that's in business or trying to create partnerships, alliances. It just keeps growing, and that keeps us very busy. All right, what's important to know? There's a lot, but again, I'm going to key into some of the top things that we coach on, that we run into. Your invitations to connect on LinkedIn are 5 times more likely to be immediately accepted if you take 30 seconds, because that's all it takes, to personalize your invitations. Now, LinkedIn is notorious for putting the word connect all over the site. They'll introduce you to people that they think you should be connected to, and they'll put a connect button right next to that. Make sure you go to the person's profile before you hit the word connect. That is the only way to personalize your invitations. Now that's on desktop. Of course, they make things challenging. When you're on the mobile app, it's a little different. You don't want to hit the word connect on their profile. You want to tap on the more button, and that's where they kind of bury the option to personalize your invitation. So the difference between desktop and mobile is a little bit significant. You have to kind of watch what you do on the mobile app. We wish they would be more consistent across the board, but that's LinkedIn. Over 90% of searches are done in an organic fashion. That means when you think about it, if you need a product or a service, ideally, you're going to have a referral that you can jump right on that person's profile. However, over 90% of searches that are done, whether it's on LinkedIn or Google or Yahoo or Bing or any search engine, most often people don't know who they're looking for. They just know what they need. So they're going to plug in a keyword. And you don't want to overthink your keywords. Think like a layperson. What words would people plug into a search field to find someone like you? It's going to be based on expertise. Keywords are all about what you offer, the products, the services. I just worked with a mortgage advisor this morning, and he had a lengthy list, not surprisingly, of all the different products and types of loans that his company offered. Don't forget what I call soft skills. I think any business owner is also going to be well versed as, hopefully, a communicator, a networker, a relationship builder, and it goes on from there. So it's in addition to your hard skills, you also want to emphasize the fact that, and another one I love is high integrity. Now that's not a searchable keyword, but it is a phrase that I love to infuse in every LinkedIn profile that we worked on. Who wouldn't want to work with somebody of high integrity? So remember that over 90% of searches are keyword driven, and and I'm going to show you more about how the network's put together in a second, but over 90% of searches are organic, and you want to complete your profile with keywords. There's a whole process called keyword optimization. And the reason I was giving a little instruction a minute ago about how to think about keywords is because we often run across people who overthink keywords. What kind of words would you use to find yourself on any site? Make a list of 12 keywords and think about, you have a lot more than 12. Every one of you has dozens and dozens of keywords that apply to your particular expertise. But this also causes you to kind of laser focus on what you want the viewer to know about right off the bat. What do you want to emphasize about all the different things that you can do for people? Think about your top 12 keywords. And I'm going to be telling you where to put those keywords in your profile, because the search engine goes immediately to certain fields in your LinkedIn profile. And because we've been doing this work for 10 years, we know about another 15 fields in your profile where you want to have those keywords prominently displayed in a professional manner for the search engine. And it is that black and white with SEO, search engine optimization, on LinkedIn. You either have those keywords in the right fields or you don't. And that is how you are found on LinkedIn. Other than if the person has your name, of course, they can jump right on your profile. But you have to remember that 90% figure. And that's why you want to pay attention to what kind of content you have on your profile. And you want to infuse those keywords in every description field, in the about section, and so forth. Never stop building that network. I just hit 12,000 connections, first level connections, a few weeks ago. And people look at that and they say, there's no way you can know all those people. And I'm very, very truthful. No, but I know about 70% of those people. And I've been on LinkedIn for a little over 14 years, and I'm very particular about who I connect with. Obviously, I love connecting with people that have been in on the different presentations and workshops that we conduct. So I do encourage everybody to invite me to connect if we're not already, because you're going to expand your network in a very big way by doing that. And every time you bring in a new person to your network, you are boosting your network in a big way by the number of people that can find you with those organic searches. You want to strive to have something in common or some synergy with every person you connect with. I have a couple of hard, fast rules. If someone invites me to connect, I'm just going to make a massive assumption that everyone on this call that has a LinkedIn profile, which I hope is everybody, I'm going to also assume that every one of you has a headshot. That's one of my first hard, fast rules. If you don't have a headshot, I'm going to ignore you. Now, I'll pay attention today because, the invitations are date stamped. So if I get invitations right now during this hour, I'll pretty much know if you don't have a headshot, maybe you were in on this BizHack Live webinar. So I'll cut you some slack and I'll check out your profile. But honestly, we have a tagline: time is money, we'll save you both. Time is precious. It is something that you can't get it back once you've expended it. I don't waste time on LinkedIn. And we teach our clients how to be time efficient when they're on the site. We want you to get on LinkedIn, do what you have to do, invite a few new people to connect, take some action on that homepage feed, and you're done. I'm involved with LinkedIn groups. I honestly don't pay attention to them until it's Saturday. That's my thing. I spend about an hour every Saturday going through the active groups that I'm involved with. So when you do post on groups, be patient because some people might not see your post until the weekend. But I'm always being very active and engaging with my network, and we teach our clients to do the same. Now, the reason we press on having some kind of synergy or something in common with every connection that you bring in, it's called thinking down the road. If you have something in common with somebody and you connect and you engage properly and you get a relationship built and you get to know that person, you're going to be much more likely to be willing to introduce that person to a target that they're in front of. And that's called leveraging your network. Now, if you treat LinkedIn, and this is my opinion, you'll hear me on the soapbox about this all day long. If you are treating LinkedIn as a numbers game, you're going to build a huge network. You might have 20, 30, 50,000 connections. By the way, the limit is 30. You can have 30,000 first level connections. However, you're going to get much more mileage out of LinkedIn if you don't treat it as a numbers game. Even though you're blowing up your network and you're going to be found maybe by more people, it's all about building relationships and leveraging those people later. That is the core of LinkedIn. It is a relationship building site that can lead you to business later. If you skip that step of relationship building, you are not going to have as anywhere near the engagement and success on LinkedIn as a marketing tool as you could. So we teach what we call old school networking with leading edge technology. That's becoming one of my favorite phrases. So try to have something in common with everybody that you connect with. And this is an interesting stat. I am a stat person. I live for their quarterly reports. And out of the latest one, 94% of LinkedIn's 766 million plus members, they're using the free basic membership. And I think that speaks volumes. And we make sure that our clients are using every single option that's available because LinkedIn, quite frankly, is notorious for burying things. It's not the most user-friendly site out there, but we try to teach people how to make it easy to navigate, get on it, do what you need to do, and then be done with it because everyone has overloaded schedules. So you want to make sure that you don't jump into a paid membership. We're not against those. We will be the first ones to encourage you to, elevate your presence to a paid membership if you're going to use those options that you're paying for. Honestly, I've lost count of how many people that we start coaching and they're on premium, which is around $40 a month. And by the time we're done with our first couple of sessions, they go back to the free membership because we know so many go-arounds. Again, if you are going to use the options that you're paying for, we are all for the elevated memberships. Sales Navigator is one of the top paid membership levels as far as expense goes. You can actually incorporate a CRM with Sales Navigator. We leave that training to others. Our whole focus is on the basic and premium membership. Sales Nav is wonderful if you're going to learn to navigate everything that you're paying for and you, again, use the options. We're very big on free. We don't like people wasting their money. It's very, very easy to get swept into the mode of, yes, I need to upgrade. I need, the higher priced option is the best. That is not always the case. So if you're on basic, start exploring it. I'm going to show you a whole bunch of things you may not have known about it. Again, out of the 766 million member, that's a big number. The real number to pay attention to. Again, the latest stat from LinkedIn, about 323 million members are active. Those are the people that are on LinkedIn 3 to 4 times a week. Those are the people that are going to be very visible and very much engaged with their networks. Okay, right way to wrong way to use LinkedIn. So you do want to have a complete profile. And a lot of the content that you build out, you're not going to have to come back anytime soon to change anything, but get those keywords together first. I'm going to lean on those because that is how you're going to be found unless somebody refers you or they have your name already. I'm nuts about keywords and putting them in the right places. So you want to use the banner. I'm going to get into all this on LinkedIn. So I'm going to skip right into this next bullet. And you will have all these slides in the PDF after this presentation. You want to take advantage of additional sections. And I'm actually making a note here because I do forget to show you that. Almost every time I do this. So additional sections, there's about 15 additional sections and headers that you can add to your profile. A lot of people don't even know where that is to find those options. I will show you. Be active. And again, we don't want you to spend all day on LinkedIn. Nobody has time. But if you can consistently invite a couple of people to connect every day, I love showing this off. You have a whole bunch of connections in here that you may not even know about. Start with your contact list in your phone. I'm betting a lot of you belong to chambers of commerce, BNI, PNI. Just heard about that one this morning. Any professional organizations that are relevant to your industry. Those are sources for contacts and new connections on LinkedIn. You have access as a member to all those different membership lists. So there is no such thing as running out of potential prospects to invite to connect on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn will actually give you an entire page of more suggestions for you. And they might be total strangers when you first look at these people that LinkedIn is saying, hey, Debbie, you might want to connect with Joe Schmo, in Topeka, Kansas. I'll say, what? Who's he? There is a reason. That page is pretty valuable because LinkedIn has done the work for you. They've scoured your data on your profile and they've scoured the data on thousands of other LinkedIn members, and they are finding synergy with each person they put in front of you. So you should take time to look into I'm writing that down too, so I can remember to show you that page. It's called More Suggestions for You. Okay, so you want to stay active on LinkedIn. What you don't want to do, please, 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 do not invite people with a pitch. I'm on the soapbox now, and I am in some LinkedIn groups that are run by LinkedIn personnel, and they're getting boatloads of feedback from people like me all over the world who teach people how to use the site in a professional manner, that's going to get you what you're looking to do on LinkedIn. We're all on there to get business. I mean, I'm just going to come out and say it. People in transition are on LinkedIn to get a job. And there's a good possibility they will, because right now, just as an aside to people that might be in transition, or if you know somebody, you can tell them, again, latest statistic, over 75% of the jobs in the US are currently listed on LinkedIn, right under the jobs tab. So be aware of that. It's a pretty powerful stat, but you don't want to be spammy on LinkedIn. And if somebody invites me to connect and it's a very professional invitation and it looks completely harmless and they look like a viable connection and I accept it, and 2 seconds later, they send me a LinkedIn message that is this long with paragraph after paragraph about what they do and why I need to work with them. And here's my calendar link. Let's set up a call. My immediate action with people like that is to visit their profile, hit the little word more next to message, because I'm already connected to them. So now I hit the more button and there is an option there to remove the connection. And that's what I do immediately. They're not using LinkedIn appropriately. A lot of times they're using automated software to generate those lovely messages. I don't have time. I just don't have time. And there was a time when I used to try to communicate back and forth with these people. I learned the hard way. They don't want to do that either. In fact, they get kind of nasty sometimes. So I simply remove the connection. If it's extremely offensive, I report them. It's anonymous. LinkedIn pays attention to that. They are very interested in maintaining the integrity of the platform. And all of us who know how to report inappropriate posts or articles or messages, LinkedIn is paying attention to that. And you know what? If you're a real aggressive salesperson and you're using automated tools, there are hundreds of software programs out there that you can integrate with LinkedIn. Be aware of two things. Number one, every one of those software programs is a violation of the LinkedIn user agreement. And you agreed to that agreement when you started your profile, maybe long ago, to not incorporate anything that involves scraping software. And again, you will get flagged. And if you have 5 members who receive one of those automated whatevers, it only takes 5 members to hit the ignore button and then proceed to hit the I don't know this person button. 5 of those, and your account is restricted. Next time you go to get into LinkedIn, you're going to be greeted with a big 5-word red message that says, this account has been restricted. That's when people call us to get out of what we call LinkedIn jail. And you'll pay us to do that. So just prevent the need and just don't spam people. I do get onto a box about that. Okay. Don't be afraid to engage with your connections through Zoom, GoToMeeting. There's dozens of screen share platforms out there, and I'm really happy to see I'm going to my first local chamber event in person at the convention center in a couple of weeks. I'm super excited. I haven't been in the convention center in over a year, and I probably used to go there for events twice a month at least. So things are coming back, which is really great. And I think there's going to be even more of an influx of people returning to in-person networking. But for now, hopefully every one of you is still networking using one of those different screen share platforms. Be sure to copy that chat box, and pay attention to the people on the screen. I'm pretty notorious for taking screenshots of Zoom meetings that we're in, and then I'll use it as a post on LinkedIn. It's very effective. People love images. Of course, they love to see their own face on the screen. And I take it a step further, and it takes a little bit of time to mention each person that attended, but you put the @ sign in front of their name. And whether you're connected or not, it'll bold their name. That's a link to that person's profile. So by publishing a screenshot from the meeting and naming everybody that was there, I'm doing everyone in that picture a favor by giving the viewer, remember, I've got 12,000 connections and my posts go right out to all those home pages. Not everybody sees what you post, but a good percentage will if you also pay attention to the time of day, morning, noon, and night. Jot that down. That's LinkedIn's research. 7 to 9, if you want to get precise, 7 to 9 in the morning, 11 to 1 across the lunch hour, and believe it or not, 8 to 11 at night. Those are the 3 best times of day, wherever you live, to post on LinkedIn. You're going to have more eyes on your posts during those hours. We have an upcoming webinar about that. It's called Do You Ghost and Post? No, do you post and ghost? And some people don't even realize they're doing that, but we'll be talking a lot about posting and everything that goes along with it. And that's actually, I think, next week, but that's also going to be in the materials that you get after this. Okay, let's move on. This is the last slide. The way the network's put together is the 6 degrees of separation. And I know somebody out there is thinking of Kevin Bacon. It has nothing to do with Kevin Bacon. However, the idea is there. When you connect, I'm going to use all of you who are not connected with me yet. When you connect with me initially, we become what's called first level members, and your count goes up by 1, and so does mine. But in that process of connecting, you also bring that person's whole network into yours. And the first thing that happens is, I'll use Dan as an example. When Dan and I first connected, his count went up by 1, but he brought 12,000 LinkedIn members into his network as second level members. So he's not connected to them, but he's linked to them because of me. And all of those people have first level connections, and all of those members are now in Dan's network as third level members. So when you connect with one new person, you're actually bringing thousands of LinkedIn members into your network. And the reason this is so important is because of that statement. Over 90% of searches are keyword driven. It is your network. Let me put it this way. When someone's searching for you using a keyword, you have to be somewhere in that person's whole network in order for them to even bring you up in their results. This is super important to understand because so many people think that once they put up a profile, anybody can find them. That's not exactly true. They can if they have your name. You have to remember how people are found on LinkedIn. Over 90% of the time, it's from a keyword search. You have to keep expanding your network to make it bigger and bigger for people to find you. Okay. This is all the different ways you can connect with us and my staff. We do 15-minute complimentary reviews. Those are the links. All three of us are really good at that. No strings attached. We are going to give you at least 2 to 3 LinkedIn tips right over the phone. Okay, I'm going to switch into another page.
No worries. And while you're doing that, wanted to encourage folks to ask questions. We're going to definitely, would you like to stop sharing your screen? I just want to let you know we can see your calendar.
Yes, I know.
Perfect. No worries. Trust me, I've been there. Let me know when you're ready. And we do have a couple questions. We could take them now or at the end, whatever you prefer.
Now is good. I will be on there.
Yeah. So while you're getting set up, Allison McLaney asked, what is the best way to encourage my personal professional connections to follow my company? If I'm taking the time to actively post content on my company profile, should I be posting the same content on my personal page?
That is a great question. I'm going to give you an even easier answer. They have a fairly new tool on the LinkedIn page that enables the admins to invite up to 100 connections a month. You can do it super fast. If you have a couple of admins, 2 or 3 people can be inviting 200 or 300 people to follow your page. Secondly, I try to post different things, unless it's about a webinar or an event that we're hosting, that I will post the same all over my platforms, all over my social media. But remember, the LinkedIn page is all about your company. So you can get very creative with getting people to keep coming back once they follow you. Videos are great, clips from your staff, little video clips of people that are giving testimonials. It's all about content. You want to inform and educate. Those are my 2 favorite words. And if you're doing it on your professional profile posts from your homepage are going to be a mix of, things that are posts that are going to talk about your company, but also posts that talk about maybe the next business conference you're going to attend, or an event you just went to, or something coming up of interest to your industry, not necessarily you or your company. You want to get a real good mix of content that makes it more interesting. So when people see your little face in your post, they know, oh, wait, I got to stop and see what Debbie's talking about, because she always makes it worth my time. You don't want to waste people's time. So hopefully that helps. And I think I'm ready to go on to LinkedIn, if that's
Great.
okay.
Well, let's take a couple more questions, just a quick lightning round, and then so Victor Lee asked, what is a good way to get more people to follow your page? I assume that we cannot follow other people's profiles from our page. So there's, I think, a little bit of confusion around the company page versus the personal profile.
Okay. And if you don't mind not seeing my face, I'm going to go over to LinkedIn. Is that all right? You can still ask questions, but it's going to be more effective to
Absolutely.
get onto LinkedIn with what we're talking about. Okay, so now you should see LinkedIn Learning Center. Okay, that's not where I wanted to go. All right, hopefully you are going to see, let me go over to, okay, now you're seeing my homepage, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so real quick, the difference. Okay, when you are, you can follow anybody from this page. You can look up somebody with the search field. You can choose to follow them instead of connecting with them. When somebody starts following me, the first thing I do is reach out. I look at their profile. If there's value, I invite them to connect. And here's why. People that are following me, they're getting my stuff in their feed, but I'm not seeing anything that they're posting. And I really like to engage with people that I'm connected to. Now, certain people like the celebrities and the influencers, you can't connect with them. You can only follow Bill Gates or Obama or whoever. So you can follow people on LinkedIn from your profile. Let me get into my company page. And from here, now I'm going to come in as an admin. So for anybody that manages a LinkedIn page, it's right under LinkedIn admin tools. It's the very first thing, invite connections. When you tap on that, I'm going to now go into, I have to pay attention to my own LinkedIn page. Thank you. I have a whole 100 people available, and here it is, what, May 12th? Yeah, I need to get on the stick here. So I will use those 100 people, the 100 credits very quickly, but you can see the first 3 I've already invited, but they're just going to give me a list, but God bless them. They just put in these filters, which I love because I have 12,000 people. So if I just want to go after people in a certain area or a certain industry, that's even better, to appeal to them to follow my LinkedIn page, I can go right into the industry of higher education and grab the colleges and show the students how to use LinkedIn, et cetera, et cetera. Let me go back to view as a member. This gives you a chance to see your page how everyone else sees it. And I'm sidetracking a bit. The question was, can they follow?
It's really about company versus, right, personal profile. And Victor's question, what's a good way to get more people to follow your page? And I think directly inviting your connections is a great response. And Scott Sanders asked, what's the difference between how you set up your personal versus your company LinkedIn profile?
Okay, that's easy. The personal professional profile is a very defined template of different fields that you want to fill in, and it's all about you, the professional. The experience section should pretty much match your resume. And you do want to let people know what your prior life was. Okay, I got gray hair. I've been at it for a while. So my first 23 years, my first career was all nonprofit work and marketing, media, PR. Okay, that really doesn't have anything to do with LinkedIn, but it does, because now I've been 10 years at this. Well, people want to know, what did you do before 10 years ago? You know, what was your background? You know, I'm in my late 60s, so I think it's an interesting concept to, and we do this on every client profile. We do show their background. We don't go back 40 years ago. You know, usually 15, 20 years is plenty of background. People are going to read less the further down they go on your profile, but you really want to give the viewer a well-rounded view of who you are, how you got there, where you are today, and hopefully why you're passionate about your current work. Now, flip into the company page, and I still call it that because they dropped the word company because now they get colleges to create these pages and nonprofits can create these pages, and they act like mini websites. So everything, I'm in the member view on my page, everything on here is about my company. Every post that I do is about DW Consulting Solutions. So if I want to get off on tangents with, gee, here's an interesting article from, I love to travel. Someday we're going to get back into that. So I might post something about the cruise line progress of getting back into cruises. I wouldn't put that on my company page, my LinkedIn page, because it doesn't have anything to do with DW Consulting. So it's actually easier to think about things to post on your LinkedIn page because, and I'm going to tell you now, this graphic right here, I pulled that off of Google. And the idea was to promote the three little dots right up here. People miss those. It's on every post, every invitation, every message, every article. The three little dots open you up to a bunch of options. And I was trying to think of a clever image to put on this post. And I found this one pretty quick. And I have gotten a boatload of views on this post. And I know it's because of that picture. So hopefully that helps.
Perfect. Well, I'll let you take it away and show us what you want to make sure we see inside of LinkedIn.
Okay, so a couple of things. They put you on the home page for a reason. They want you to act and interact with your feed. So this is a scrolling feed, and right away, this image grabbed my attention. Dell Foxton is an artist. She's a client. She does this, she makes her own paper, and then she creates these very expensive bits of art. And she's pretty well known. So she's grabbing my attention with these pictures of sport fishing. And I'm sure she's promoting a beautiful home they have in Nassau that they're trying to sell. See, who knew you could do that on LinkedIn? But she grabbed my attention with that image. So again, the three little dots. Everything on your homepage is either from someone you're connected to, they're posting, so it's being shared on your homepage, or it's a promoted ad. This is an ad. And one of my connections, Carolyn, follows this page. Okay, so I'm not really looking for a career change. So I'm going to hit those three dots and I'm going to report the ad. That's not a bad thing. That's telling LinkedIn, why are you reporting this? Okay, it's annoying. It's not interesting to me. It's not something I want to see in my feed. So it's a way to clean up your home page. Okay, so the rest of this is all different things being posted. Anything with an image is going to grab attention. Videos are awesome. That's from the LinkedIn Learning Center. Kelly Merbler, if you don't know her, you need to. She's just one of my favorite humans. These are all different things. Okay, there's a graphic that's going to grab everybody's attention. The colors, the wording, the simplicity. Yeah, I'm probably going to take a look at that. So I can save this because I'm busy right now. I don't want to read this. The three dots enable me to save for later. So that just went into my folder on the left side over here under, let me get rid of that. It's actually at the top of the screen. So when you save things, LinkedIn stores them right over here under my items. So I can go back and read things later if I'm tied up with something. All right, let me get onto the profile. That's why you're all here. And if anyone wants to volunteer their profile for me to use, I'm happy to do that. I promise I'll be nice. But I use my profile to start. If anybody wants me to look at their profile during this session, just throw your name.
We have Millie Herrera has volunteered, as well as Jane Moore. Right. And you can see their names in the chat. And then right. Damaris Mora, Diane Mulligan. Got to be careful what you ask for. We got a lot of very eager folks.
Okay, so I'm going to have time to do a couple. I'm going to open up a couple of tabs here for LinkedIn. And Dan, you know I can talk all day on LinkedIn, so you're going to have to give me a heads up when it's like getting to the end here. So yeah. Because I do want to address questions. Okay, give me one of those names again.
So it's we'll start from first come, first serve. So Millie, M-I-L-L-I-E, Herrera, H-E, she's coming up for you.
All right, see this right here? First, Millie and I are connected. Hi, Millie. All right, great to have you on here. Okay, I want to give everybody a couple of SEO tips. This is how easy this is. You will have to jot down some notes because it's not in my reference documents, but this is a perfect example because we're connected. All right, see this little link here, contact info? When I tap that, oh, that's not supposed to happen. Hold on. 1 second, I have to make sure my Wi-Fi is not going wonky on me. Let me get back there. Oh boy. All right. It's coming. I love Comcast. Just saying.
I hear you. And if you're having trouble, I'm happy to share my screen and do the same thing you're doing, and you can still walk people through it. Let me know.
I think I'm back. Ooh, I hate it when that happens when I'm in a live broadcast. I have a Verizon jetpack. I will plug Verizon. They are a lifesaver during rainstorms.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's a rule about live demos, which is they always break every time.
No, they don't, Dan. All right, here we go. All right, I am connected to Millie. That means when I tap on contact info, there we go. All right, I can see everything she has in this template. When people are not connected to you and they tap on contact info, the only thing LinkedIn's going to show them is right here, your LinkedIn URL, which they're already on your profile, so that doesn't help them. And they may or may not show your email. That's a privacy setting, okay? The rest of this may or may not be shown. Chances are good they're going to show your main website, but that's it. Okay, for that reason, Millie, you've got an opportunity right here across the front of this banner, which is gorgeous. We use Canva, canva.com, to create banners for our clients if they don't want to get into it themselves. But you can do a white text overlay right here across this top and give your pertinent contact information. And this, I'm flipping back to my profile to show you. Now, I'm telling you this because up until about 5 months ago, maybe a little longer, LinkedIn did not allow calls to action on the banner area. So that means you can make it super easy if you're a business owner or you want to promote your own employer, you can make it super easy to give the visitor, every visitor to your profile can have your, this is my office line, this is my website, and this email address goes right to me from the website. So everyone has whatever they need to get hold of me right by visiting my profile. So do take advantage of that, Millie. That's the first tip I would give you. Secondly, and you and I think have already done some work. Certainly we've done the profile eval because you wouldn't have all this filled out like it is if you hadn't. So a couple of SEO tips. There's a way to, most people that have this template in front of them, they're going to see a bunch of numbers and letters at the end of their URL. That was assigned to you when you first joined LinkedIn. The search engine will love you if you get rid of all the junk at the end and just end that URL with your first and last name, lowercase, no spaces, no dashes. The search engine will zero right in on that URL a lot faster when you clean it up, and you do it by clicking the little arrow at the end to edit it. Definitely get a phone number in there. I have my cell phone everywhere. I don't get spam calls anywhere near as much as I get spam text messages, which are equally annoying. But I want to make it easy for the people that are connected to me to reach out to me. So I do put my phone number everywhere. If you're hesitant about that, go grab a free Google phone number and use that, and you can have everything forwarded to whatever number you want. Address is super important. I'm going to take a massive guess by the address and assume that is your office, maybe a brick and mortar, hopefully. Hopefully it's not your home address. I know it's not, but you do have an option here to add an address. What we tell people at least get in there is your city, state abbreviation, and zip code. It's the zip code that the search engine is looking for, and it'll automatically do a 50-mile radius in that search. Please don't put a street address in there. Email is email. And again, I can tell him that Millie and I connected a ways back in August 2017. Okay, let me do another profile.
So Jane, Jane space Moore, Moore. We're just going in the order that people volunteered themselves to try to be fair.
Okay. Now, there's a lot of Jane Moores on LinkedIn, so I'm just going to hit enter. And I'm going to take a shortcut. Dan, do you know where she's located, or can she tell you?
She's the second one down.
Okay,
Probst.
Makes it even easier. Thank you. All right.
And she's a second level contact because you and I are connected.
There you go. And if she were to invite me to connect, the first thing I would do is go to the profile. Who is she? Where is she? What does she do? Could there be value in connecting with her? And most important, right here. So we know some people in common. I go for the mutual connections. Dan is a trusted connection, and now Lilia is as well, because I've gotten to know her. I don't have to go any further. That really, it can be that quick. I have a trust in certain people, and you have to think of that old saying that birds of a feather flock together kind of thing. She also has a very good headshot. She's facing the camera, smiling. What's important about this headshot? She's cutting it right at the shoulders. That is optimal because, another tip, whatever image you use right here, it is reduced by 50% when you come up in a search result page. So her picture is still going to be prominently smiling at the viewer. Whereas if you have a headshot that's from your waist up, your face isn't even going to be visible in the search result. No one's going to click on you. So do yourself a favor, follow this example. It's a great one. And we are second level. So now I'll show you. When I go to her contact info, okay, she's got all 3 website links taken advantage of. So yes, I'm going to see those. Interesting, they are displaying your phone number. That has to be a new privacy control, which is very possible. Usually they don't show the phone number because we always tell people, another tip, get your phone number in your narrative. Make it easy for people to reach out to you. Okay, so she's founder of her own company and designs custom. I'm ready. Take me away. All right, I cannot wait to travel. I'm going to scroll down and see if she has an about section. Okay, so Jane, you need to get your about section filled in. Now, let me tell you, that is your key area on your profile to sell. But you're also going to do a combination of things if you create an effective about section. It's not going to be all about Papagayo, like that name, luxury. It's not going to be all about Jane. It's going to be a combination of information so that somebody like me who doesn't know you, when I come to your profile and I look at that about section, which I will, I went right for it. It's not there. So I'm going to go on and look through some other things on here. But here's the deal. Again, I pay attention to LinkedIn's quarterly reports and their stats. Microsoft owns LinkedIn now for the past almost 5 years, 4.5 years. They have spent a fortune researching member habits and where they go on the site. And what they've proven repeatedly is that when you get someone on your profile, they will read your summary if you give them one. So it's a 2,600 character field. That's also not in my reference documents. So if you don't have a summary, get into Word and start writing. Don't be afraid to tell people this is the most important thing. 2 things. Number one, most often when we review summaries, there's nothing about the person in there. It's all about their company. Make sure you put a little bit of you in there, because when you think about it, it goes back to square one. This is a relationship building site. You are doing your best to give people a reason to connect with you and do business with you. So how are they going to feel the trust factor if you don't say anything about yourself and the only thing they've got is your headshot and maybe your education, where you went to school? Hopefully you have Good job. All right. You have your experience section filled out. You're also using images to enhance those vacation spots that you can take me to. And I'm going to scroll down further. All right, you've got, and thank you for putting that high school in there. I love that. People think I'm nuts when I tell them to include their high school under education. Listen, I went to high school 100 years ago. However, there are people that I graduated with that are on LinkedIn, and you can look up your alumni in seconds, and who knows what they're doing now. They might be some of the best connections you can make, and you never know who people are connected to. It branches out like that. Remember the network. So that's great you have that on there. I don't have the year I graduated either. They can just search for me under my high school name. But you've done a good job. You've added volunteering. That's excellent. Volunteering, by the way, again, people think, oh, why should I put that on there? I don't do it anymore. Past or present, get all your volunteering in your profile because it speaks volumes about you and your character and what kind of a person you are that, none of us have time to volunteer. When we make the time, it really says a lot about where you spend your time, what you're passionate about besides your work. That's great. One more thing, because I'm on a prime profile to do this, I'll stick with Jane for a second. I'm going to go back to mine. I want to show you where to get those additional sections. So right at the top of your profile is add a section. When you tap on that, if you haven't used much of this yet, there's going to be a whole bunch more options than what you're looking at here. However, look under, see this accomplishments? Well, you wouldn't think much of that. When you tap on accomplishments, if you haven't used any of this yet, there's going to be 13 additional sections where you can add content to your profile. And believe the saying when you hear it, that content is king. Here's why. Every one of these sections, with the exception of maybe 2, patents I don't think has it. But when you tap on something like organizations, that's where you can mention your volunteering. The name of the organization, if you were a member, when did you join the organization? That's what this is. You tap that. But look at this. Almost every one of these fields has a description field. Look at the character count. You have an opportunity here for 2,000 characters. So think strategically. Use your keywords, infuse sentences, and put those keywords in the sentences. Every time that Jane repeats, I'm just going to say custom vacations. That's one of your main keywords. Another one might be luxury vacations or luxury villas. Those are all keyword phrases for her to enable people that don't know her, that are looking for what she provides. This is a way for them to get on her profile, even if they don't know her. If she has custom vacations as a keyword phrase, and she puts it in her headline, which she has done, her about section, which she does not have yet, and boy, you could repeat the heck out of that phrase in a 2,600 character about section, Jane, or the experience section. And again, she's done a good job there. We're looking for that custom vacation phrase. So you could build out this. Okay, hang on. This looks like a duplicate entry for, I can help you get rid of that. You only need one. From 2012 to the current, if you get that phrase, custom vacations in there or luxury vacations in there, that's another spot. And then down under skills, I'm giving you all the fields where you need those keywords. So she has resorts, that's another good one. I'm going to hit show more, which a lot of people don't do. So make your first 3 entries really impactful. She has luxury travel. You get the idea. This is called keyword optimizing your profile. And I have LinkedIn probably 200 times in my content. I have LinkedIn coach, LinkedIn advisor, LinkedIn trainer over 50 times throughout my profile content because I have competition now. No one in South Florida was doing LinkedIn coaching, and it's been really fun for me. I don't mind at all. Competition is good, but there's plenty of business to go around. But what I'm saying is, it's been fun to watch the progression of other people catch on to, yeah, LinkedIn's a great site and people need help to navigate it. And hopefully all that stuff I just showed you is why. So here's the deal. If Jane has that phrase for keywords more often in her profile content everywhere you can, if you have those phrases repeated, we call it intentional repetition in a professional way, whoever has that phrase the most is going to come up on top of organic searches for that phrase. That is the way the search engine works on LinkedIn. We're really, I will say we are experts at this. After 10 years, we better be. But you want to be found on LinkedIn for what you do, and you want to be found on page 1 of those searches. And that's the way you do it. Top to bottom, keyword optimization. So now I've given you a ton of stuff that you can start working on. Any other questions?
So we have a couple of questions. We're going to go a little bit long. What I'd like to do is I'm going to just quickly make up some of my wrap up for those folks who need to go. And then anyone who's willing and wants to hang on, we'll keep going until we get through all the...
I have to interrupt you for 1 second. I have a dead stop in about 5 minutes because I have to go off to a live taping for a podcast. I literally have to leave.
All right. Well, then
so
let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do a quick lightning round. We have 3 questions in the Q&A, and we'll keep it there. And then I'll just do a quick wrap up, and we'll wrap up in 5. So Jane Moore, who we've been looking at, has said, I've been apprehensive about asking past guests to join my LinkedIn because these are super private and wealthy people. What approach would you recommend?
I would look them up on LinkedIn. If they're on LinkedIn, they are out there to the world.
Amen.
And I would just invite them to connect and say, hello, first name. Great to see you on LinkedIn. This is the customized. Let me show you. Okay, she already invited me. Thank you. If I saw the word connect right here, I would tap on it and it would say add a note. And this is what you want to do to personalize. And here's what I would say, Jane. Hello, first name. Great to see you on LinkedIn. Let's connect and expand our networks. Would love to be a connection or something like that. And then sign your name and let it go. That's short, it's concise, and it's professional. They're either going to say yes or no.
Shani Wilson said, what happens if you have a popular name and your custom LinkedIn page is already taken? So like you'll see Jane Moore.
It won't be. Okay, she's saying custom LinkedIn page. Is she talking about a company page?
No, like you see how Jane Moore had to write Costa Rica because there's so many Jane Moores in the URL?
Oh.
So if you look at the URL, it says Jane Moore, Costa Rica, because other Jane Moores had already claimed her name. And so that's what Shani was asking.
Okay, so the first thing we do is put a middle initial in. Jane, middle initial, Moore, try that. If it's still, because there's 766 million people on here, so you got to get creative. First, try the middle initial. Second, if you have, if you're a PhD, you can put that at the end of your name. If you run out, you try 3 or 4 times, start with numbers. Number 1, Jane Moore 1, Jane Moore 2, Jane Moore 3. Try, I guarantee you, it's not going to take you more than maybe 6 tries with those tips to get a URL that sticks.
Perfect. And then finally, Krista Martinelli said, how often do you think we should post from our LinkedIn page? Once a day, question mark, just approximately, she's asking.
The bigger your network, the more you can post. Because your post goes out to everybody in your network on their home page. Some people see it, some don't. I have 12,000 people. I could post every hour if I wanted to, and I'm not going to annoy anybody. But it comes down to content. It has to be of value. I don't really care where you ate last night. I'll go over to Facebook to see that. It's all about value. If your content is educating and informing, I would say once a day is plenty.
Perfect.
The bigger your network, the more you can get away with posting more often.
Great. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. If you could just take yours down and we'll wrap up here. Thank you so much. And Debbie, if you want to put in the chat how people can book a 15-minute appointment, if you want to throw that in the link, we would love to bring you some business. You're amazing. And we have a philosophy of abundance here at BizHack as well, which is there's plenty of work to go around. So I'm really glad that you said it and you think of it that way too. I got to say, by the way, that I really align with you around your philosophy and approach. I think you bring tremendous integrity to what you do. You know, I know you work with LinkedIn, but you're not beholden to LinkedIn. And I also really appreciate that you work in the platform. You're not sort of relying on hacks and automation that so many other folks use. And you're really focusing on what ultimately we always espouse, which is human to human marketing. Whether it's B2B or B2C, you're dealing with human beings. And if you deal with them in a humane way, a personal way, you're going to get better results.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. So just really quickly, we have any company with 10 or more employees in Florida are eligible to workforce training grants that we can help you apply for and use for digital marketing training. If you are interested, let us know and we'll walk you through that process. We have had a tremendous amount of interest in LinkedIn for business. And so we have a couple more LinkedIn sessions coming up. A little later this month, the amazing Cheryl Cattell is going to be talking about using LinkedIn to build your business without spending a dime. And then after that, we're going to look at a sales navigator and 2 secret ways to leverage LinkedIn to build rapport and grow and generate new leads. So, you know, a really nice 3-pack, if I may say, where Debbie's really focused on the personal profile. Cheryl is focusing on using it to build your business. And then we're going to talk about Sales Navigator with Brett Spodak. We have a lot of other topics we're going to be covering over the course of season 3. We're talking about presentation skills for professionals, and we're doing it with Dave Bricker, BizHack alumnus and an amazing professional speaker himself. And he's going to do it from the perspective of blunders. What are some of the blunders people make and how to avoid them? We're also going to be talking about how to find work-life balance from a female entrepreneur. The secrets of unlocking profitable customer acquisition through paid search on Google, and Google Analytics for beginners, and then 3 Fortune 500 marketing techniques that any small business can use. These are all part of season 3 of BizHack Live, the American Marketing Association award-winning series. Would love for you guys to support us with a season pass, and you'll get registered for all of them and copies of the presentations and recordings, even if you can't make it. And with that, join us for this movement of helping small businesses market themselves online. Thank you, Debbie, for an amazing presentation, and thank you all for coming today.